Josh Snow here talking the filter screen today. I'm gonna get right into the video. Since I don't know the generic name for the filter screen, like what the world calls it, I just know it's a filter screen. It's easier to show the video first, and then I can go into the diagrams, how it's taught, and then more video afterwards. So very simply, the filter screen is always thrown to the tight end, off play action, generally off play action. Right, I'll get to more of the rules later, but I just want to show the initial clip. Right, so we're all kind of on the same page before I go in the diagram of what I'm talking about today. Very common screen in the NFL, especially. I'll get into who gets out and all that kind of stuff coming up, but just the initial shot of what we're talking about, make sure everybody's on the same page. So the filter screen. So the good thing about this is it is the most efficient screen we've covered so far. Right, 6.6 yards per play is not bad. Still, you have to question, is that quite worth it? Right, that's a decent amount of work for when it amounts to quick game stats. Efficiency is pretty good. The good thing is the rules are relatively simple. You don't have a lot of switching up front who's getting out. 98% of the time, your center and your play side tackle are getting out right off some sort of full slide. So we have fake inside zone here to the left. It could be like some sort of duo scheme, some sort of full slide scheme, but some sort of everybody's moving one direction scheme up front with the tackle and center getting back out. Rules for the receivers remain the same, right? If nothing else is tagged, they're running verticals. You could run dagger, you can run post climb stuff, whatever you want with those guys. Quarterback remains the same off the other play action screens we talked about. He's play faking, 3-step setup, and then redrop and find the open alley to throw the screen. Tight end who's getting the screen is going to set twice, right? 2 sets, put hands on, and then he's going to find the easiest release back to the quarterback. Right. So there's inside clips, there's outside clips, there's all kinds of stuff. Up front, they are almost always predetermining who's getting out, right? You got the center and the play side tackle getting out, and they are running the alley. So the alley on this screen is a little bit tighter. The other ones, you're talking about being in the C gap with a tackle, taking the first thing in the alley to outside, and the center, who's the second one out, taking the first thing in the alley to the inside, right? So alley is being in the C gap. So it's a little tighter screen than we've talked about so far. So different things you can do in the backfield to get this screen started. Right, you'll see the Chiefs run this quite a bit. This isn't Kelce in the clip, but obviously you want to get the ball to Kelce in space as much as you can. Different motions, different quote unquote eye candies, whatever you want to do. Easier to see from here. So up front's a little bit different because you are always trying to get the center and tackle out. You have you have some options here. You can like reverse combo it like they're doing here. A lot of times you'll see a gallop step into it to get back out with the guard taking it over. Right, so a settle, you want to go two-hand base block this guy, right? Bring him over, and you'll get some sort of gallop from the tackle because you're trying to get these two elements out. I'm not sure you have to do that. I think you could basically truly combo this one, and whoever would really climb in a combo would climb. So here you get the guard out first, or the guard would come out of this combo here, right? And the tackle would still come out in this combo. But they are hell or high water. Everybody's running it, is trying to get those two out. So you do have to kind of change your techniques a little bit. You're talking about the backfield action, different ways to get the tight end the ball, right? Two sets, put hands on, and then you're finding the easiest path back to the quarterback, right? Perfect world. This guy rushes outside like he does here. You spin around, you stay in that C gap, and you get vertical in the C gap. So 2 sets, hands on, find the eye line to the quarterback. I'm talking about more of the backfield action here. I'll get into the O line as we keep going. So easy world if the defensive end stays outside, everybody's happy. I'm giving the DN the easiest path, 2 sets, put hands on. He wants to dive inside. Don't try to cut him off. Let him dive inside. And now you obviously your easiest eye line to the quarterback is going to be spinning outside, right? Staying vertical in that C gap. So I'm not trying to fight physics here. If that DN wants to dive on in, let him dive on in. Guide him through the C gap, spin and get vertical. Worst case scenario is here. That guy doesn't take a side. He plays you straight. straight down the middle, that's when you will have to take a shrug release to shrug him out of there. Right? You want perfect world that guy to jet up the field. You'll take him diving inside. The worst is when he's actually playing run and he's going to transition to a bull rush. You're going to have to shrug release and make it work. So those are 3 examples of a traditional tight end cutoff type block. You can also split zone it, right? Which I really like because you get more often a cleaner look by the DN. Either he's going to play outside like this up the field, or he's going to spike really hard inside to try to spill you, and then you can spin off that. Right, so I think the bin stuff, the split zone stuff makes it a little bit cleaner for the tight end. Right, you're not getting DN is going to try to charge you right down the middle. You're generally going to take a side based off whatever the fits are. Here's a guy who's intent on spilling, right? Then you really like it if he's a hard spill guy. You really like the screen. Just bluff him and spin and stay vertical in that C gap. So I'm busting through this thing pretty fast. I'm going to get to the O-line stuff as we go. A lot of these clips will be repeated later. And then finally, if you do the flow pass stuff where you're full sliding it, flow pass, full slide, and you have quick like snag or stuff out here with the running back cutting the inside leg of the D end. All right, this is a very good complement to that as well. So the RB is the target here. Get him to play outside. Beautiful. Now you have a little shovel underneath. Now they kind of screw themselves based off coverage and rules and all that kind of stuff up front. But you can see this screen is pretty versatile. You can kind of pair it with a couple of different screens up front, or different schemes up front. I'm sorry. It's more so a manipulation of how you can manipulate that guy to not charge you straight up the middle. Kind of get him to play outside or inside. You don't really care. So talking about the up front, the actual install. So this is a beautiful clip. So this is the premier look. Like if you could scheme this up against anything, right? It's 4 down with a wide 9 to the screen side and a 2-eye, right? Why is that easy? Because now the tackle can really easily get out without having to gallop anything over, and now the center can get out pretty easily, right? If that's who you're trying to predetermine who's getting out on these screens, which they are. That's the premier look with the wide 9. You can just set twice, get them up the field, turn around, stay vertical in the C gap. See the technique up front. Right, they're shuffling down 3 steps with the tackle in the center, both getting out, staying vertical in the C gap. Now, what screws them here is once again the DN playing right down the middle. That's the issue. And Kelsey having to shrug him by. In a perfect world, obviously 75 takes a safety, 31 up top, and 67 then takes him. But like all these screens, they're pretty dirty. Right, you take the first thing you see. Right, they're seeing man coverage, which is obviously an issue on all screens. So 75 pries off the man coverage guy, who he thinks the man coverage guy is. It's actually 31. And then 67 then has to make him right. Okay, but that up front, premier look, right? We went 4 down, 5 down, we got issues. We went 4 down, 2-eye, and a 9. Easy releases. So they're doing a full slide, look up front, right? You can full slide it, or you can have some sort of inside zone, duo-ish type set by the line. Like the center, 2 sets, 3 steps, and then getting out in the alley. Same thing with the tackle, right? With no B gap threat, your 3 steps into the line of scrimmage, and then getting back out. You want Kittle to be in the C gap, right? He's a little wide. You see the blockers and Kittle on 2 different pages here on where the alley is. That's why the alley and landmarks are so probably important on all screens. And the Kittle has to end up winding around back into the C gap. Definitely a 4 down play. 4 down play to the B gap bubble is what you want. So I like this one. This is off a play action type look. So if you're not a Gallup team, which if I had to go tomorrow, I would not be a Gallup team. This is how you have to set the combos up, right? Normal combos with the intention of bumping this thing over, right? Kicking this thing out and then climbing. Tackle, kicking this thing out and then climb. So you can see this looks like play action zone. The center and tackle are going to bump it over and then get to their landmarks. And now it's just, can you block that guy in space? Is everybody trusting their landmarks? All that fun stuff. Tackles trying to kick out, centers running the alley. Right. If you can get those guys 2 yards apart in a perfect world, that's kind of what you want. Quarterback, play action, 3-step set. Right. Just like every other screen, 3 steps after the play action. How much can you draw that DN towards you? Right. And then find an eye line to the tight end. This is so if you don't want to combo it that way, so these guys really gallop in there and like the guard really tries to take it over. You can see the play side tackle, the 75 here with the gallop, 65 with the settle whip over technique. Right, gotta be careful not to tear an ACL. Probably don't want to whip over that much. Kelsey, good job here. But two sets, hands on. Right, take him, let him go whichever way he wants to go, let him go. And you're spinning, staying vertical in the C gap. See if you don't, this is a little bit different how they're techniquing the center and guard. Kind of like a reverse combo here. Guard's got to gain leverage on the one, which is tough. Center's got to try like hell to bump that thing over as much as he can. And then now he's running the alley in the C gap. But you see just how square, like that's a beautiful look there. You're getting 2 out. Just how square they are. 2-yard relationship, right? They can reach out and hold hands. Kicking the first thing out. Past that alley, 75, center, you're running the alley, whatever you see. So that's a beautiful look at it here. Right? Why this play is better than the other play action screens. Right? It's very obvious. You're not faking, you're not throwing the ball to the guy you're faking it to, which is a massive. You're faking it one way, throwing it back to the other. If you're big time, like at UNC, this probably would have, we didn't quite have the personnel to throw to, but schematically it would have been good because there was so much 7-man full slide. Right? And linebackers get so much depth off drops. This probably would have helped us. Now, I'm not super pumped about throwing the ball to a tight end, those guys we had there. Just looking back at the numbers, right? 6.6 yards per play with like good efficiency. That leads me to believe I think this play is not very explosive, right? Just based off who you're getting. Like it's efficient, and it's fine. You're just not going to break off the huge plays just based off who you're throwing the ball to. Really good look at the center and the tackle here, right? If you're not a reverse combo type team, if you're not a Gallup team, how you can make this thing work. I'm not so sure you have to work this hard. Looking at the backside, right guard, right tackle here. I think you can almost regular combo this thing. If the 3 wants to stay at 3, that's fine. The guard can now be the first thing out. Tackle stays. Right, but somebody said 20 years ago the tackle has to always come out on this play. So they're working really, really hard for the guard to take it back over, which is fine. It's just not something you ever do in anything else, right? So it's like a different skill set. To me, combo normally, guard gets out, first out. You know, they work so hard, based on your normal rules. Center, good job, front side. 3-step in the combo. You want to punch this thing out if you can. He stays he gets the B gap. Now the center's the second thing out. 54 wants to take an inside track on the tight end. Beautiful, let him. Got to work on finding the eye line. It's a really good job by Garoppolo. 3 steps after the fake, set up, rather than make it work. So this thing hits a little bit wider. You'd have to kind of see where you want the landmarks to be. C gap E is kind of where it is, like C gap ish. generally where it hits. But this is like a beautiful look at running, just running the alley, just 63, just running. The second guy out, you're running the alley. First guy out, you're kicking out the first thing past the alley. Alley being the C gap. So that's a beautiful look at it right there. I want to see this from the wide. That's as much space. So this kind of sucks about this play a little bit. And it's a good play. I'm not trying to kill it, but I mean, this is a beautiful look, and they get like 13 yards. 23 to the. I'll get more than that. I'm sorry. Make it 18 yards, but still, and that's like the most beautiful look you ever see. And they're topping out 18 yards. I will show it. This is the best way, riskiest, but most explosive way is running it back to a nub. Right, single high, run it back to a nub player. If you can peel off the single high defender back there, the tackle can peel that guy off. Right, there could be potentially nothing else left in single high defense. Right, so this is the riskiest. This will either be a tackle for -3 if that corner can pull the trigger, safety, whoever's back there, fast enough, or it's a big gain. Now here, of course, we have neither because the tight end drops the ball, but you see it's setting up single high nub. There's nothing left back there. Premier. So working the guard to overtake it. Left guard's gonna try to overtake it, whip that guy over. Left tackle could try to bump the guy over, right? Because he's got to be the first guy out. Center and right guard working the exact same combo. A reverse combo. Oh man, this is beautiful. Great single high nub play, right? And if it's too high, you want to obviously like keep the run on or whatever it is. So common issues, we kind of cover a little bit of these. First issue, this is two separate issues that compound into a beautiful interception. 5 down, don't want to run against 5 down. You need 2 bubbles, right, to run this play. Bubbles being uncovered interior gaps, right? Obviously, you just have 1 bubble here. Now, if you have only 1 bubble, now you get to block a defensive lineman and then try to release them, and he's going to be right in the way of the screen. So 5 down, don't run it against 5 down. They try to. Second issue, we've covered this, right? If the DN just plays right down the middle of the tight end, that's worst case scenario. You want him choosing a side. That's why I think it's fine from the same side. I do really like it coming across because I think it's cleaner. That guy doesn't play down the middle. He spills really hard, or generally he's up the field. He's not straight down the middle of you. So you see 2 issues compounding into 1 here. 5 down front. You see just how disgusting this is against 5 down, right? With only 1 interior bubble. You have to fan this thing out backside, and now you're blocking who you have to try to release. So you're keeping everybody in line of scrimmage and trying to release them. Right. So let's say this isn't just a complete shit show here. You also have a 4-eye, or sorry, he's a 3 in the way. But compounding it to make it even worse, you have D end, outside linebacker tight playing right down the middle of the tight end. Right, which causes this and the pick. So that's the first issue that shows up. Second issue, if you're hell or high water, I'm trying to get the 3 knocked over, and you don't want the guard to ever climb, which these guys are for whatever reason. If now you don't knock the guard over or the 3 tech over, and you don't regain leverage, this is the issue you have. So look front side here. This is what I'm talking about. Front side, right? The center's occupied. He's got a gap player, so the guard's climbing. And this is the more stuff I would do. Is these 2, whoever's uncovered is climber. These 2, whoever's the uncovered player is the climber. Here they're kind of stuck in no man's land. Right, the tackle doesn't knock the 3 over. The guard doesn't take the 3 over. And now you're keeping the 3 right in the middle of the screen. So this is more off that flow pass action with the running back, faking the cut block of the D end, right, and then turning around and becoming the runner. Obviously, man is always an issue on screens. Let's make this even worse. The worst case scenario you can ever imagine is a choke defender. Gathers play, can run anything else but this play. Against man, you can probably make it work, especially in play action. Right, you guys will get some depth. You can peel these guys off. Choked defender, never ever run it. You'll never get that guy peeled off. right? And this is what happens. Even if this ball is completed, you just have just a cluster at the line of scrimmage. Last issue, this kind of goes with the first thing, is you don't really want to run this ever against 5 down because you don't have enough open gaps to climb interiorly. Second issue, 5 or 6 down, a lot of those times those edge defenders will take the tight end, right? You get all the Sims and those guys are dropping a lot. And now you can't peel them off because they're on the line of scrimmage. So that's what happens here. This is 6 down front. Right, those guys are the edge, the flat defenders, the edge defenders a lot of times. Right, the force guys, whatever you want to call them. Right, so they're just there to take the tight end. So not only do you not have enough guys to climb interiorly, right, they do a good job here. I just don't like trying to release defensive linemen on blocking the line of scrimmage. Helps if it's off outside zone like it is here. Yeah, you just don't want to run this against 5 or 6 down. So you see a lot of the cool Chiefs plays, right? They do all the shit. They do all the cool motions and they run around circles and all that kind of stuff. A lot of those plays are this scheme up front. So you got a lot of motions back and forth going on. Got a lot of shit to look at. At the end of the day, you got Mahomes rolling out. At the end of the day, it ends up being the exact same filter scheme. I really like the Mahomes. I like the rolling out from the quarterback because now you get that edge defender, right, 93 here, to feel sprint out and go try to contain. Now it's really easy to get back underneath that guy. Right? It makes that is Kelsey. It makes Kelsey's job a lot easier, right? Because that 93 is now going to contain on the sprint out. And there you go, able to dink underneath. With that same scheme we talked about. I see a really good gallop, right? If that's what you want to do. Really good gallop and overtake by 77 here. In the center, setting, A gap, and then climbing, running the alley and C gap. So just cool little fun designs they do. They have fun with it. The underhand toss here, right? Same thing. Sprint out, get those guys up the field, trying to get them to contain. He's kind of dink it right underneath them. So cool scheme. See a beautiful job by the guard and tackle, right? And making a 3, making the B gap defender an A gap defender. Same thing with 70 and 62, left guard and center. Right, making that A gap guy, a B gap guy, right, and letting the interior pieces climb. The play side pieces, I should say. Right, you get the cool motions, right? Everybody's in the quote unquote lab. Here you got Mahomes in motion, right? You got Kelsey taking a snap, but the same thing, right? Sprint out, get that guy up the field, and just dink underneath him. Guard needs to keep the A gap guy and A gap guy, right? You got to walk in touchdown here. He retraces, kind of muddies it up. I think he might spit out. I don't know. I thought he spit out this thing a little bit cleaner. But you see right here, you got what you want. Kick out in the alley. You run the alley. There's nothing left. We just lose the block. Lose leverage late in the down on the defensive tackle. Does a good job working back over. Last one. Our O-line guys out there will love this. This is a big boy here. Right, you can see just how hard they're working, right? To put that B gap defender in the A gap. Same thing here. Make this A gap guy go. See kind of my issue, right? They stunt to it. They're so intent on making the center always release that you just lose leverage. You'll never get this thing back across. My thought is let the center take it. You are uncovered. You climb, and you're that pieces. You're the one climbing here. Same thing here, right? My guard would climb, tackle would stay on if I end up running this play. But I just want to do all this, right? Same sprint out motion. This is a big 75. He gets screwed by his guys in his own room, where they stunt to it and just kind of swallow it up. But cool, fun stuff. I would love to know why they are so intent on getting these two out. That'd be my question. Why not just run normal combos? That kind of my biggest question on running it. But interesting play. It is efficient. I think it's good because you can run it from different formations, different motions, different backfield actions. It's just, do you have a guy you can throw the ball to? In the past couple years, we did not have that guy. Although I do think it is a good play if you have somebody worth throwing the ball to. So, as always, appreciate you watching. Bottom right, the Twitter, reach out if you have run this play and you like it. I would like to know some more of the finer coaching points. This is the very general video. No ways, no line guy. I'm trying to reverse engineer things as much as I can. So please reach out. Questions, comments, concerns. Appreciate you watching.